The Community Foundation of Harford County is a nonprofit philanthropic organization that strives to meet the interests and ever-changing needs of our Harford County residents. They encourage you to share your thoughts and ideas with them. Join us in the next 30 minutes as we hear about how they're making this vision a reality. I'm Christy Breslin, and this is Harford MagaScene. Well, if you haven't heard about the Community Foundation of Harford County, you are in for a treat. I am joined by the Executive Director, Jen Farrell, and she's here to tell us about all the good work that they're doing here in Harford County. Hi, Jen.
Hi, Christy. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having us. So, Jen, what is the Community Foundation?
Community foundations exist all over the country, but we are here in Harford County, and that means that we are a community foundation that just supports Harford County. So what community foundations are is they're really organizations that are here to address the quality of life in Harford County in perpetuity, and we do that by building endowments so that we can address issues as they arise in Harford County. And we also do that by partnering with individuals and businesses and helping them sort of manage their philanthropy and give back to Harford County in a really strategic and impactful way.
Now, when did the foundation first begin, and why did you feel it was necessary to bring it to Harford County?
Sure. So we're actually a younger community foundation. We were just established in 2007. Most community foundations across the country were started much longer than that ago. But so really, we felt that it was important to have a community foundation in every region in Maryland. And although we're not really affiliated in any way, we do sort of talk to each other and share information. And it just became pretty apparent to Harford County residents that they were looking around and saying, geez, all these other counties in Maryland have community foundations. Harford County does not. So it was a group of bankers and business leaders that came together in 2006 and decided that we really needed a community foundation in Harford County. So they just kind of worked really hard and got it together, and now we're sort of been off and running for many years now.
Now, we mentioned it, but talk more in depth about how the Community Foundation actually assists businesses and residents.
Sure. So how we work with families and businesses is they will essentially approach the Community Foundation and say, hey, we're already being philanthropic, but maybe we want a little help in organizing that. Maybe we want to be a little more strategic in our giving. Maybe we want to make it go on forever after our family is gone, to leave a legacy on Harford County. So what we do is really work with people to sort of say, this is going to be the way that your family can really make an impact in Harford County. Instead of maybe just writing, $100 checks at the end of the year, maybe we can get really strategic about it so that when you give back, you're really moving the needle on an organization in Harford County. So we act as the philanthropic back office for families and businesses that are maybe want to begin being philanthropic or are already philanthropic and want a little help kind of organizing it.
Now, I know that grants are a big part of this. So what kind of grants do you provide for the nonprofits?
Yeah, so all of our funds that we open can have their own sort of grant making processes. So we have our internal grants that we do at the Community Foundation. Those are our impact grants, and those support everything from disadvantaged children, homelessness, hunger. We have a grant for respite care for in-home caregivers. We have grants for STEM and music programs at Harford County schools. But outside of that, all of our fund holders sort of might have their own grant-making activities that we will help them put into the community. So for example, in the last year, one of our fund holders decided they wanted to support mental health access for youth. So that's what we did. We opened a grant to every nonprofit in Harford County and said, tell us what you're doing in mental health access for youth. And we got a ton of applications, and that family was able to put out, I think $250,000 just to support that work. So we really can kind of tailor any kind of grant making program to anything that a family or business wants to do.
Now you just continue to grow and you continue to help more and more people. So what do you see from your vantage point as the future of the Community Foundation here in Harford County?
Yeah, I mean, I see us as being a really, really impactful organization in this county. I see us having and this is of course a dream, but having a lot of unrestricted dollars so that when problems do arise that might face our county in 10 years, 20 years, 100 years, we'll have the resources to respond to that, whether it's, an emergency, or maybe we just determine that, hey, there's this one problem in the county that we feel like the Community Foundation can step up and really, really take leadership and make an impact. So that's what I hope, and I really do see that for us because, like you said, we're growing more every year, and we're thrilled to be able to make a difference in this place that we all love so much.
Oh, absolutely. Jen, what's the first step? If somebody's interested, what do we do?
Yeah, just reach out to me, really. I am your best contact at the Community Foundation. We have a great team as well, and if you have any ideas in philanthropy, we are really happy to just kind of help people think through, will this work? Is it something you can work with us on? Is it something that we can at least give you advice on? We always just say it's our job to support philanthropy in Harford County. So whatever idea you have or any kind of thought you have about giving back in Harford County, give us a call and we're happy to help you think through it, even if it's not really ultimately with us.
Jen, thank you so much. It's amazing all the work that you're doing here in Harford County.
Thank you. We're very pleased to have you here.
And we were talking a bit about partnerships. So coming up next, we're going to speak to one local business about their partnership with the Community Foundation and why they continue to serve them. Well, if you haven't seen her smiling face in the community, you don't know what you're missing, because right now it is my privilege to interview my good friend Emily Cavey, who is the community liaison for Harford Mutual Insurance Group. And she's going to talk to us about how they have been working so closely and so passionately with the Community Foundation. Hi, Emily.
Christy, great to be here.
So Emily, tell me about your role as community liaison. I can't think of a better person.
Yeah, so I love it. In my role, I am really that bridge between our employees and our community partners. So I reach out to our local nonprofits, see if they are in need of any volunteers, donations. Then I get that word out to our employees, and our employees are so wonderful. They are always there to lend a helping hand and help out Harford County, and it's just amazing to see.
Emily, as someone that works constantly with all these nonprofits in the area, what would you say are some of their biggest needs?
So I would say over the past few years after COVID,
Right.
volunteers definitely are a need that they are needing once again, because for a couple years there, it wasn't able to happen, to have those, in-person volunteer opportunities. Also donations, monetary and sometimes material donations as well. So sometimes I'll reach out and it's basics. They just need canned goods or toiletry items, things that you don't realize, that you're fortunate to have, that are essential and that a lot of people don't have, and need a constant flow of it too. So I would say those are probably the two biggest needs right now.
So how long have you been working with the Community Foundation, and why is this partnership so important?
So I started working with the Community Foundation when Harford Mutual set up the Harford Mutual Insurance Group Fund. And through that fund and working with Jen, we've been able to really grow the purpose of it. It always had the foundational purpose of increasing our philanthropic efforts, but now we've taken it a step further, launching the employee match program, launching flagship agency grant program as well, and it's just been a great experience.
There's two programs that you are very proud of and you are the flagship for. So can you talk about both of them, elaborate a little bit?
Yes, so our employee match program we launched last year in 2023 during our Employee Appreciation Month. We have Employee Appreciation Month every May. So as a way to say, hey, we appreciate you and we appreciate the things that you're passionate about, the causes that you care about. So we will match any donation that you make to a 501c3 in good standing. So The process is pretty simple. They fill out a simple form, send me proof of their donation, and then we hand it over to Community Foundation, and that money comes right out of our fund and into the community.
That is fantastic. Now, what about the other program?
So our flagship program works, I'll say a little similar, but also different. So that program doesn't require the agency partner to make that initial gift, and it's not a match program. We are giving $1,000 is the amount to 18 flagship agencies. So last year, $18,000 were given to charities of their choice. And once again, that is to show that, we care about this relationship, we value this relationship, and in turn, we want to support the causes that are close to their hearts.
Now, as many people as you've helped and as many nonprofits as you've been involved with, what would you say, from your vantage point, sets the Community Foundation apart from all the others?
So I would say it has to be the people. Working with Jen has been a joy. She, her professionalism, her expertise, I have personally not experienced in my role. And when I met her, I was so thankful to meet her because she's so knowledgeable and has really even helped me in my role. So I'm really appreciative of it. It's been a great partnership.
Emily, thank you so much. We're so lucky to have someone like you in that role.
Thank you, Christy, so much.
Well, the Community Foundation partners with a lot of businesses in the areas, and we're going to talk to one local business owner and also board member on why she stays involved and about the future of the Community Foundation. Stay with us. Stacy Rebert is from Harford Mutual Insurance Group, and they work very closely with the Community Foundation of Harford County. She's here to tell us all about that and why they continue to work so closely with them. Hi, Stacy.
Hi, Christy.
Stacy, tell me about the relationship with the Harford Mutual Group and the Community Foundation.
Harford Mutual and Community Foundation, we actually go way back, lots of years of supporting their initiatives, but we never actually opened up an account with them and went in that direction. So we've experienced some exponential growth recently, and our giving budget is allocated based on a formula on our growth. So we got to a point where we thought we really need to involve other organizations in our dispersal of our money and of our philanthropic giving. So we reached out to Jen and we created our fund to help us facilitate those goals.
Now, Stacy, when was the fund first established?
We established the fund in 2022. We had some great growth, as I mentioned. Our numbers are based on our financial results. Our giving numbers are based on our financial results. So we had this quite a nice sum, and we wanted to make sure that we were utilizing it properly and having it make the most impact. We also were toying with the idea of having it give in perpetuity, so something that would build, that we wouldn't just be giving at the end of every fiscal year and kind of depleting the fund. So we moved money over into the Community Foundation, and then in 2023, in order to use those funds with more impact, we decided to start an employee match program. And we have what we call flagship agents, who are agents in our agency plant who have a special relationship with us based on numbers and based on their tenure with us. And we now also have a program with them where we give them grant money to then give out to their communities as well.
Tell me more about how the fund works.
Well, for the agents, we have them submit a 501c3, and then we give them a dollar amount, and then we donate the money or the Community Foundation donates the money in their behalf, and they can choose anything within our CSR statement. So health and human services, vibrant community, poverty alleviation. As long as it's a bona fide 501c3, we allow them to choose the impact in their areas. The employee match program is similar. We allocate a certain amount to each employee each fiscal year or each calendar year, and they submit receipts or submit the agency to us, and then we give it back out through the Community Foundation.
Well, Stacy, if someone wants to apply for one of these funds or just see if they're eligible, how would they do that?
the general public would not be applying for these funds.
Okay.
So the funds are strictly our employees requesting a match to something that they've given to, and the same thing with the flagship agents. Our flagship agents, we have 18, I think, on deck right now, and each of those is eligible to give the money away to their impacted communities.
Tell me about your experience so far working with the Community Foundation.
Well, I've known, Janie Klein started the Community Foundation, and I've known Janie for years, so I was always aware of the foundation. And it's one of those business models that isn't always readily understood.
Right.
So through Harford Mutual, we kept having the Community Foundation come in and kind of walk us through it. And then with the arrival of Jen, it became very clear of how we could make this work and how we could really partner with the Community Foundation. So she's been an absolute joy to work with. She's helped us on many levels, from vetting organizations and making sure that we're following the understanding how to read the 1099s and understanding how the formulas work in giving. She's helped direct us with certain organizations where we had someone come to us and say they needed money, and she matched an organization with us. So she's been very beneficial in helping us expand our giving program at Harford Mutual.
Now, Stacy, if anybody has any questions about the giving program, maybe they want to understand it a little bit more, how would they find out more about that?
Emily Cavey, who works in the marketing department, is our community liaison, and they would contact Emily directly.
Stacy, thank you so much. And it's so great to have Harford Mutual Insurance Group on board, because you have such an outstanding reputation in this community and you do so much for others. So thank you so much for being with us.
My pleasure.
So much more to come. We're going to get different vantage points from different people that work with the foundation and why they continue to do so. It is my pleasure to be joined by my friend and a pillar here in the Harford County community, Janie Klein, one of the board members here for the Community Foundation, and she's here to tell us all about her involvement. Hi, Janie.
Hi, Christy.
Janie, talk about your history with the foundation. I know pretty much you got on board right away. And why is it so important to you?
Well, I learned about community foundations about 20 years ago through a contact I had in Baltimore. And when I heard they were starting a community foundation in Harford County, I jumped right on it. I was like, I just so believe in community foundations and the power that they have to help people in the community that I immediately wanted to get involved. And as anyone who knows me can tell you, it's become my passion to spread the word about the Community Foundation and all the great things that we can do.
Oh, absolutely. Even I know that. And you're on the board.
Yes.
So tell me more about the board. I know it's a pretty big board, huh?
Right. We have 19 board members, and they come from all walks of life. We have attorneys. We have people associated with banks. We have community members. We have, we're trying to increase the diversity on our board. So we have a fairly diverse board. And we have everyone who's on the board is committed to supporting the Community Foundation and helping in any way that they can.
Now, with 19 members on this board, I assume everybody has a different role.
Well, we have different committees. So we have a finance committee, we have a nominating committee, we have a distribution committee, which goes through all the grants that we have. They go through the grants and the scholarships, and we meet and we decide who will be awarded the grants and the scholarships. So let's see, we have an investment committee. So everybody on the board usually plays a role on some committee to help, because we have such a small staff. So the board really takes on a very active role in working with the organization.
Oh, absolutely. Now, you said how passionate you are, and it shows. It shows. So what is your favorite thing about the Community Foundation?
I try to live my life by these two tenets, and one of them is in the Jewish faith. It's called Tikkun Olam, which means repairing the world. And the other is a saying that I've heard. It says, to those who much is given, much is expected. And so I feel like, because I've been fortunate in my life, that I love the idea of giving back to helping others. I think it's important to repair the world, to help our community, and the Community Foundation gives me a platform to do that. It can give anybody a platform to do that. And the more I've gotten involved in it, the more excited I am about the vision that I have of how, when we get a little bit bigger, the impact that we're going to have. And I always say that the Community Foundation gives people an opportunity to become philanthropists. You can do it in a small way, you can do it in a large way. And Jen is a great director, and if you work with her, she'll tailor your fund or your needs to whatever you would like it to be.
Jenny, your passion really shows. It comes across clear as day, even in this interview. So you talked about your vision. What is your vision for the future of this foundation?
Well, I've seen other community foundations who are much larger than us and the impact that they have on their community. So we can support different programming that we see a need for. We can provide people the opportunity to become a philanthropist in any way that they would like to. So I feel really fortunate that we have this vehicle to help people become philanthropic, because I think people don't even understand how to do that, or they think they don't have enough money to become a philanthropist. But really, through the community foundation, you can start really small in a small way and start giving back and build a legacy. The other thing I love about the community foundation is that it is a legacy foundation. So you can start a fund, and the fund will carry on through your lifetime and after your lifetime to carry out any of the wishes that you'd like to see it accomplish.
Well, Jeannie, also Klein ShopRite has been a major part of this. So talk about their involvement.
Well, as the Klein ShopRite, I'll say, we've always tried to give back to the community. My father-in-law, who started the stores, always felt like the community supported us, and it was our job to support the community. And they've been very supportive of the Community Foundation. They make a donation every year, and they support us in any way that they can. So I appreciate that.
What are some of the most memorable experiences that you've had working with them? Something that maybe you could share with our viewers.
Well, just seeing that the impact that our grants have on organizations, and seeing how, someone can call us and tell us what they're interested in, and then we can provide a vehicle for them to provide the funding for that. I mean, one of my favorite stories is that we provided funding for an after-school program. She needed a 3-compartment sink to comply with the sanitation requirements for federal funding. And this woman feeds multiple children in her neighborhood. And because we gave her the sink, she was able to continue her program and use that as a vehicle to accomplish her desires. So I always use that as one of our best stories. But there's lots of good stories out there.
Janie, thank you so much. It's always so great to see you, and thank you for everything that you do.
Great to see you too, Christy. Thank you.
Well, coming up next, we're going to speak to Brian Kelly from the Kelly Group, and he's going to tell us why his firm is so invested in helping the mission of the Community Foundation. Stay with us. Brian Kelly is the founding partner of the Kelly Group, and he has worked with the Community Foundation for several years, both personally and professionally. So he's here to tell us about that experience. Hi, Brian.
Hi, how are you?
Great, thanks for being here.
Great to be here.
Now, Brian, once again, you work with the foundation both personally and professionally. Explain.
Sure, it's something that I'm just so grateful that was established many years ago, both on a personal side with my family, as well as professionally. I'm a CFP professional, and many years ago, I was so intrigued. My parents, they were small town people who gave to the church, and they gave their time to the community. So they really taught me stewardship. But professionally, when I was introduced to community foundations as an example, I found a whole new way to expand that opportunity to give back. And then the whole concept of neighbors caring for neighbors just has always resonated with me.
Oh, absolutely. Now, you help them with all their financial needs. How do you do that?
Well, what's a lot of fun is when you think of community foundation, you're planting trees today to provide shade tomorrow for people, and showing them ways to enhance their abilities to make a difference right here in their own community. And we really need that heavy lifting. And when people start seeing the opportunities with the education that the foundation provides, or other professionals like myself come to the table with, they get excited about it. And it ends up giving them an opportunity to give more than they ever thought, which puts money back directly into our community, often for generations to come. My family's been here since the 1700s. And when I think about that, I think about that stewardship concept. And if we can carry that forward, and I think the Community Foundation is going to provide a tremendous part of that, I think that's a home run for everybody.
One of the big services that you also provide is providing referrals. How do you do that?
Even this morning, we were talking to a family who had a passion around housing for rural poverty and food. And I was talking to them about how they can take appreciated securities as an example, which if they were to get out of, they would pay, let's just say 30% thereabouts in tax, where we can take that and leverage that so they can give each dollar of those appreciated securities into, and I call it kind of just a quasi foundation, which it's not. I know it's a community foundation, but their own personal one without going through a lot of setup costs. They're helped right by people in their community. So they're able to put those funds there, lay out stipulations, involve their children, which gets them very excited, and start teaching them about giving back. And I find that resonates with a lot of our families. We have an incredibly generous community, and when you can open up new pathways and show them how to use their dollars and leverage those dollars, and how that can give meaning to future generations of their family as well as community, it's a home run.
Oh, absolutely. Now, Brian, what is something that you would want professional advisors to be aware of regarding the Community Foundation?
I think number one, the Community Foundation is not a competitor to them, and I think sometimes that can be seen as such. But I really see them as a partner. And getting in clients and always doing the right thing for your client. You bring the Community Foundation's leadership to the table. They're incredibly professional. They're incredibly passionate. They know more than we do. And they can really enhance that relationship for that person's client, which positively reflects upon them.
What is something that you would like people that are watching that just aren't familiar with the whole process? What is something that you feel they should know?
I encourage them to get information and know that it's not an intimidating place. These people are caring. They're there for the right reasons. And this could have a profound impact ultimately on your wishes. And that's hard to do because folks in the financial world, and the Community Foundation is seen in the financial world, can be intimidating sometimes. Or people may not want to talk about their private finances. And everything's 100% confidential, where they can sit down and really kind of just start verbalizing. They don't have to know what a community foundation is, but just tell us what you're really wanting to achieve. And you might not even know, and I've seen this, and all of a sudden things take a different path to whole new heights for the family by just having conversations about things they really didn't know about. So it opens doors is the bottom line.
Brian, thank you so much for all your services to the Community Foundation. I know from talking with them, they are just so grateful for all that you do.
Oh, it's great to be here today. Thank you.
Well, as you know, the Community Foundation provides essential services and programs for our community members. We're going to hear what some of the clients and the board members have to say.
We appreciate the work of the Community Foundation of Harford County because they provide not only financial support, but also resources that make our organization stronger. Our community here at Lassos has benefited from support from the Community Foundation for our youth programs, our family literacy work, and most recently for our Young Man's Group for mental health support through the Phoenix program. The program has made great strides in helping the youth find strategies for mental strength as well as physical strength as they learn to manage the ways of traditional expectations and that of American society. The support of the foundation has allowed Harford County residents to reach their full potential as they improve their quality of life, and we are eternally grateful.
As you've seen today, the Community Foundation of Harford County is a one-stop shop to meet all the needs of our Harford County residents. If you think that you could help them, you would like to volunteer or donate, you can visit their website at cfharfordcounty.org. I'm Christy Breslin. See you next month on Harford MagaScene.